Welcome to the REALL Academy, brought to you each Saturday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time by the
Systems Doctors,
Dr. Sheikah Houston and Dr. Tammy Taylor, best-selling authors, consultants, and speakers of Create and Educate LLC. Create and Educate LLC is an educational consultant and literary firm that provides professional development to schools and community. Their goal is to transform organizations with the REALL Resilient framework used to increase their school report card grades 2 and 3 grade levels in 1 year. REALL stands for Respect, Excellence, Accountability, Literacy, and Leadership. This framework is used to coach leaders and teachers and build student efficacy while putting systems in place that aligns the work of the school improvement, making the process manageable. When the work is manageable, teachers and leaders don't stress out or burn out.
the Systems Doctor.
Alignment systems are designed to help schools evolve and grow, all while instituting protocols and processes designed to promote collaboration and collegiality. The implementation of the alignment framework prevents some of the most common problems in education, where leaders sometimes aren't sure where to start, or in our new age of educating, leaders need a trusted sounding board that allows them to be vulnerable and transparent, preventing loneliness at the top. The framework doesn't just help leaders, but also prevents teachers from burning out from too many initiatives and embracing teachers as they are the experts. Finally, the framework extends to the children, helping them get engaged in school and solving a nationwide problem. Alignment systems are frequently referred to as a key element of success in the improvement process. In the sport of rowing, all rowers must put their oars in the water, succinctly creating a system for their boat to reach maximum speed. So schools that want to improve are bringing in
The Systems Doctors
to teach them all about the alignment systems that must be in place for school improvement to be accomplished at high levels. The dynamic duo provides insights into educational topics through their international platform, which includes educators, parents, and community members as a way to support important entities that make communities thrive. This is their way to pay it forward and provide the support they needed through their platform. Take a look. People who work with the
Systems Doctors
describe them as an excellent and inspiring group of leaders. They get into the weeds of work with leaders through their TrustMate Institute that you should contact them about today by filling out the contact form on their website.
It's Super Saturday, everyone. Welcome to episode 221 of the REALL Academy, brought to you by Create and Educate with your very own Resilience DoctHers. I'm Dr. Sheikah Houston.
Good morning, everyone, and I am Dr. Tammy Taylor. Welcome and happy Saturday.
Yes, happy Saturday. And if this is your first time tuning in and you're wondering who are the Resilience DoctHers, Tammy's going to tell you.
Are so super glad that you asked. We are best-selling authors, children book authors, award-winning educators, and speakers who transformed our schools with report card movement of 2 and 3 levels in just a single year.
Absolutely. Bella, you can start with the comments. And as senior staff developers for Create and Educate, we are looking to motivate your staff members with our It's Being Done PD that starts the first step in the school transformation process, and that is belief. With this PD, we equip your leadership team and your teachers with the exact tools and resources they need to be able to transform the school. And when the work is done at your school, we add we add you to our It's Being Done poster series showing that resilience does happen in schools. We also will invite you to co host an episode of the Real Academy with us, where we have impacted over 300,000 educators and about 7 million students, all free Fantastic Four PD.
Yes, Chica. Fantastic Four PD starts here each Saturday morning. That is deemed as Super Saturday by Principal Kafele. We start at 10 a.m. with Principal Sean Hurd, our brother in this work, who does an incredible job each week and is on fire. Thank you so much, Principal Hurd, for what you are sharing at this pivotal time, because this is the time when teachers tend to really get burned out. And then following Principal Hurt at 10:30 are Shika and I, yours truly, here at Create and Educate in the Real Academy. And then at 10:55, the leader's mentor and the GOAT of all things leadership education, in the AP and New Principals Academy with Principal Kafele. And then we round out on Sunday evenings that Shika has deemed as sensational Sundays with the PGP podcast with Dr. Marty Moreno and Principal Josh Tovar. So we need for you to like, to share, subscribe, send stars, make comments, do all of those things that the platforms require to help us all build those algorithms. And we say please and thank you.
Absolutely. And so if you are a regular with us, you know that it is Real Fam shout out time. And before we get to you all shout outs, I want to shout out our two platform engineers, Isabella and Brandon. They are backstage doing the work, the background work of putting up the banners and the comments. And we are so appreciative of both of them. So great job and kudos to you all.
Yes, thank y'all.
Yes. So that brings us to Real Fam shout out time. Mr. AP Patrick Lawrence from Connecticut is joining us, and thank you. We have Miss Constance Sherrod out of Pearl, Mississippi. Good morning. The one and only Coach Dot McKeever Jeter, who is a principal coach, and she does a phenomenal job getting the word out about our platforms. Dr. Rella Hicks, good morning to you. Stacy L. Joy, our queen on the West Coast, thank you for joining us. Chancellor Rashard Davis from Las Vegas is joining us. We have Dr. Melissa Jones Chunu out of Oklahoma. Principal Sean Hurt, who was on fire, as Tammy stated this morning. Mr. David Bell from Benton Harbor, Michigan, thank you for joining us. Our other brother in the work, Principal and Central Hicks, he's now at the district level now. Forgot about that, Central. Thank you for joining us. And let's see who else we got. Thank you, Miss Dot. We got Miss Green joining us from Great Falls Elementary School, Miss
Hey,
Renee
Miss
Green.
Green.
Yes, thank you for joining us. September Devance Vance Daniels, thank you for joining us. Dr. Joe Griffin, who also does this work as well. Brandon's mom, Miss Michelle Perkins Griffin, and that's Dr. Michelle Perkins Griffin. Thank you for joining us. Queen Jacqueline and Harriet out of Nova Scotia, Canada. We appreciate you, Queen. And also,
Jacqueline.
yes, from Nova Scotia, Jennifer Desmond. So thank you, ladies. We
Yes,
appreciate you
ladies.
all. Thank you for joining us. And that brings us to our real comment of the week from episode 220, where we talked about quiet quitting. That was part 2. This is coming from Principal Sean Hurt. The gift of time is a blessing. And we were talking about at that point for teachers, but the gift of time really is a blessing for teachers, APs, and principals. A lot of times we throw information at people. Time after time, professional development after we got all of the days planned out in the calendar, and nobody put in any time for people to go back and process their thoughts or to be able to work on the work. So to all of the people, please bless the people with some time. They're going to appreciate you.
Yes, we need time, all of us.
And so if you missed that episode, please catch the replay. We are on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. We are live on all of the platforms. And that brings us to episode 221, Unpacking Quiet Quitting in Education, Part 3.
Yes, if you all remember in part one of Quiet Quitting in Education, we showed you all a video reel by Simon Sinek that explained how people show up to work but quietly quit through their actions, or honestly, they're not actions. We have looked at what that looks like for leaders, we looked at what it looks like for teachers, and today we're going to explore what that looks like for students, because if we really dig down to the nitty gritty in the work, students are why we're there.
Exactly, Tammy. And we determined that for adults, the why behind that quiet quitting is really not being appreciated and valued. And before we get to the students, there was one last point from last week that we wanted to add to that discussion for teachers, and making sure that we put some things in place to help with them staying with us, because we all want to better retain teachers. But most systems have a transfer process in place. And what we're thinking of for this particular idea is a little bit different. This would allow teachers, instead of them experiencing that compassion fatigue that we talked about, that our sister Dr. Dubose told us about. Maybe if two teachers have become fatigued at a place that may be a little bit taxing, or has that particular grade level has worn on them and they want something different, maybe set up a exchange program within district where teachers can exchange for a year or two. Of course, they would have to have their principal's blessings, but allow them to exchange for a year or two. And maybe some of the things that they thought were so bad at their school, maybe they're going to see the light now that they get somewhere different. Or maybe they can contribute to things that were going well at their school, could, bring these things over here. It would stop us from losing people to other districts if we set up that type of in district exchange program.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, Shika. And I also think that you make a really brilliant point, because the grass isn't always greener. And so it helps you to appreciate where you're coming from, but also it can give you that needed break that you were talking about. Like, just, I needed that time to regroup and rejuvenate, and now I'm ready to go home. In district exchange, just like going over and teaching for a year in Warsaw, or wherever you go. I think that is absolutely brilliant. But let's get to the reasons that students quietly quit in school. Um, for students, quiet quitting in schools refers to their disengaging from learning without overtly breaking rules or drawing attention to themselves. Instead of actively participating, they do the bare minimum to avoid consequences and kind of try to fly under the radar. They don't even really want you to know that they're there. They're just in there existing.
Exactly, Tammy. And I think the biggest reason behind this really is an adult issue. It's an outdated curriculum that's difficult for them to connect with. And I have a
Mhm.
video that I should have set up earlier, but I forgot. It's okay. Y'all charge it to my head and not my heart. And we're gonna give me some grace this morning while I get this set up. We're modeling grace today. All right, here we go.
Yes,
This
ma'am.
this video was shared at the National Dropout Prevention Conference by Dr. Robert Peters. He shared it with me. So let's take a look. It's really good. So, will our children be ready? That's a very good question.
It's an absolutely stop you in your tracks question. And Shika, honestly, the first question that we have to ask ourselves, though, after seeing this video is, what are the jobs of the future? What are we getting them ready for?
Exactly, Tammy. So, what I saw in the video were a number of automated processes that usually are done by people, now being done by computers, machines, and robots. So, programming, working on robots, developing software for robots, selling robots are all definitely going to be some of the jobs in the future. And I don't know if you all have even seen where they now have AI music artist who makes music now. I thought that was the craziest thing ever. So, the AI phenomenon, the robotics phenomenon, it is a part of our now. But when you look at our curriculums, what is a part of our now for preparing children for this future? So, the next question I want us to ask ourselves, because today we're going to be looking in those, holding up those mirrors, Principal Kafele teaches us about what parts of our curriculum prepares children for this future. And that's a real question. And I don't know, a lot of times in the African American community, we relate to movies a lot of times in our storytelling. And I don't know if y'all remember the scene from The Color Purple when they were at the in the juke joint, and the Harpo came in and the man shut the piano down and it was time to go on and close out, just exit with us with this question. Some of us is closing the top of the piano and exiting because we know for a fact
Yes, we have
that
dropped
our
the mic.
curriculum, yes, are not preparing children for this future. And a lot of times we play these report card games where we're we know all of the answers to the test from knowing where the points gonna go on the report cards, and we're teaching to the test, and we making sure we get all the report card grade information in there. But really, seriously, are we preparing our children for this future?
Yes, ma'am, you did. Just close the piano. You slammed it. And the microphone has been dropped. So I think we should roll on into exactly what's happening with the children, because we're not. When children quietly quit, and we'll look at this kind of from an elementary perspective first, so you can, kind of address what that looks like when the kids get older. But in elementary school, um, and this by far is not an exhaustive list, but there are 7 things that I think you can see when students are quietly quitting at the elementary level. So if you got your pen and paper this morning, this is something that you all can jot some notes on and be looking for when you're in the classrooms. You see that children are given minimal effort on assignments. They are completing the work just enough, some of them to pass, but they avoid going beyond any kind of requirement, and they show very little creativity. They have passive participation. They attend class, but you don't see them raising their hands. You never see them asking questions or contributing to discussions. And anybody who knows anything about elementary school, discourse is a major part of the way that you determine if children are actually learning. They avoid leadership or extra activities because they don't, again, want to stand out. So in group projects, they like lag behind. You don't see them getting involved in anything, and they don't want to be a part of anything but coming to school and going home. You see surface level compliance. They follow the rules outwardly, but they do not have genuine engagement. They may do their homework and they bring it in because they are required to bring it in. But when you look at it, you can see that there's not one bit of care given to the mastery of the content that you're trying to get across to them. Then emotional withdrawal. The students are like indifferent. They get a failing grade. Oh, okay, on to the next thing. There is a true lack of connection to anything and almost anybody. The sixth thing is a chronic need for health room visits. Watch for this. Kids got to go to the nurse because they are feeling sick. I don't feel well. And you know what? I personally believe that sometimes they don't feel well. They
Mhm.
don't want to be there so much that they work themselves up into a stomach ache or headache, and they don't want to be there, but they have this chronic need to get to the nurse's station. And then finally, strategic absenteeism. Watch for this. And this is a part, this plays right into what she could share with us before, because chronic absenteeism contributes to dropout in the future. And what you find are frequent absences or tardiness because the kids don't want to be there.
Exactly, Tammy. They going up to get the magic ice from the nurse, and the children are so tired of some of the
Yes.
same things they done got sick on their stomachs.
And honestly, it's a subtle form, Shika, of being
Yep.
disengaged.
Yep, and Imma run through the last 2 minutes, secondary level. So, when you hear yourself saying in the classroom, "What do you mean? We just went over that." The students have quietly quit because a lot of times they are compliant, they're taking notes, they look like they're in tune to what's happening, but nothing has been connected to their background knowledge. It wasn't relevant, and they did not digest it. When the children come home and parents say, "Oh, how was school?" Boring, waste of time. They don't have anything good to say about school. They have quietly quit. And I know I have two children that make straight A's. And when I ask them about school, it's nothing positive. They have quietly quit. They going in there to do the work because that's the expectation. But seeing a connection to the work with anything relevant or anything of interest or anything personalized does not exist. And a lot of people feel like it's the extreme behaviors like the disrespect and children, because I've been in some schools, not in our district, of course, in some of the schools that we work with, districts we work with,
No, never.
children, right, children are watching full football video footage to prepare for the game in class. And the teacher don't know. A lot of times the children is they all huddled up and that's what they watching the film for the game. They have quietly quit because they see no point or no interest in what's happening. And yeah, the being on the phones and the tablets and the videos and the disrespect, all of those are extreme ways that children quit that are not quiet. But a lot of the ones who you think are your high flyers, the ones who, oh, they're doing so great and they're so wonderful. They are not in tune to what's happening because it's not relevant. They have quietly quit. So we've come to our time. We might have to do one more episode on this to make sure that you got some strategies to help the children not quietly quit in these situations. But from you all's responses, we will be coming up with another series once we finish with this about the right work for assistant principals, because that touched a chord with a lot of people from last week. So please log on next to Principal Kafele. Log on Sunday with Dr. Marty Moreno and Principal Josh Tovar. And then right back here on Super Saturday, starting off with Principal Sean Hurt, yours truly, Create and Educate, and then Principal Hurt. So thank you all so much and have a great rest of your Saturday.
Good Saturday, yeah.